can you execute this draft? Like, yeah, you got a nice draft. Yeah, you got some nice heroes. But you haven't been able to execute any draft, really, for the whole of 2 or 3. So let's see if they can make this one. Well, it's the truth, John. That's the truth.
It is. I like the truth, Mike. I want the truth, and I can handle it. So thank you.
Yeah.
The
truth's not about you, Jonathan. If you want some truth,
fair.
I'll give you some.
I'll lay it on to me, Mike. Jonathan. Lay it on to me, Jonathan.
Don't you
It's not a good
imitate
mic.
me.
It's not even a good imitation, dude. It's not even close. I just do it because it's funny. I don't know why it's funny. I don't know a lot of things, Mike. I don't know why I'm talking so much. You know, it's like obviously
You get paid to talk, John.
Well, true, but obviously John Xfire talking about things nobody cares about while Mike thinks himself get me out is a real thing. That's every cast.
Quite literally.
I really need an image for that one. I have one with Winter where he looks like he really doesn't give a crap about what I'm saying, but you not yet. I know there's some pictures out there, but I need to look through. I need to scrub through, Mike.
I'm very good at pretending I'm interested, John. I'm a married man, so I'm used to it.
Winter's a married man too. He didn't give me the illusion of being valuable.
Yeah, but Winter's very based. That's the thing. Like, he's not like me. I'm a real sweetheart of a husband. He's very based. Yeah,
That's true.
Anyway, moving. We won't get into that one. There's Solji currently being harassed here by Jubei. Battery assault going to go all the way, so no leap charges. Solji's still holding on to that skill point. And Jubei's not going to let him go. I mean, this is just smart play from Jubei. Force the leap out of her. He's going to have battery assault soon. This feels like a pretty big loss for Solji here. Solji, just go back to the fountain TP, sir. Oh. Is this for real? Just go back to the fountain.
He is for real. This is interesting. He will walk back in. So Jubei's done his job to just help open up that level 1. And he'll snipe a courier.
Oh.
Good job, Jubei.
Hey, Jubei's doing great so far, I tell you. A lot of impact already. It's kind of weird to focus on a pos 5 clockwork to start off, but that's kind of where all the action's been. Like, Solji's already threw both his tangos, only has one left. And a lot of wasted time here for the Mirana, who still hasn't schooled up anything.
Yeah, just holding on. I think wanting to try to see if they can greed it out and grab that storm early. At the least, Fade is having a decent time early on. He's gone for the access into the boards. So Leonidas not just free farming.
Lund was getting very close to dropping there. Kit's decided to go back for the creep wave instead, as it was underneath the tier 1 tower. Now Kit's falling quite low himself on the storm, as bottom lane of all places is where the first blood happens. Hidden Immune able to secure a kill onto Ducho.
Yeah, this is, again, a little bit of a back and forth. Mars versus Magnus. Magnus, I mean, you can try to spear him up. He can always threaten to pull back. Magnus plus Lich, it's a pretty good lane to play with that slow to set up for skewer backs. Sinister Gaze as well for follow-up control. So you have a lot of aggression that can come out here from the side of Felt. And for Sand King Gómez, I mean, it's a classic Mors Rubik, but again, there's a very good reason this doesn't show up. It's just not as good as other laning combos. So I want to see if Ducho can repair, but this does not set that good of a tone. Granted, it's not First Blood, so it's not as big of a deal, but doesn't send a good feeling down my spine, Mike.
No, it certainly does not. Not the start you're hoping for, but it is kind of the thing. Like, you do have that cheeky combo of having the Frostblast into Gaze into the skewer back. And it's not like you have that much time to land the skewer with the Gaze, because the Gaze duration's, very short, 1.1 seconds, but it is enough. Look at this. Like, Ducho might cop it again, but he does get the spear off. Albino Zebra opting to not go for the Gaze that time around. Had he done so, I think Hidden Immune may have had the time to get behind him for the skewer, but nevertheless, it doesn't happen.
Yep. You're going to be counting your lucky stars on Sand King Gómez that it's a little bit harder to kind of pull that combination off from Felt. Still for Felt, their lanes are still coming out pretty damn well. The only outlier right now is really Fade. On the Beastmaster being allowed to just farm up. Again, we saw some good zoning from Jubei, but Level 2's up, the leap's up and running on Solji, so you're not really able to just stop. You know, this lane will always shove in, Fade will always push it out, and you've always got the arrow to ramp up now on the Mirana. Things are looking pretty decent for Felt coming out. Again, not a major lead so far, Mike, but these small map plays, they do add up down the line.
That they do. You'll see Soldier already just stacking up the jungle. Of course, he is with a Beastmaster. That aspect of Beastmaster has not changed. You just max Wild Axes and eventually just take a billion stacks in the triangle as Jubei. It's spotted here. Can get arrowed. Actually does take the arrow, and with the blood grenade, I don't believe he has a way out. So Jubei just gonna drop as Felt, able to secure another kill for themselves.
Yeah, it's not the biggest kill, but again, you're happy to just find something under your belt, get some early aggression out, enable your Beastmaster to just hit these item spikes, these level spikes that you're gunning for, apply pressure in the top tier 1. The side of Sand King Gómez, not too far behind just yet, despite these stats. And they're doing a great job of just getting some build up where they can. Ducho is actually holding his lane pretty alright against the Magnus, although not enough to really stop Berna, but at the least you're not giving him an overwhelmingly strong start in the Void Spirit as well.
Oland! It's the night time, like you don't have much vision here in the mid lane. The Storm actually does not have a ward in the mid lane. Immediate tip out from Albino Zebra, but quick and efficient rotation from Solji.
Yeah, pays off in a big way. Again, we wanted to see them kind of play around this potential pick off with the arrow. They do manage to connect it there, and you're laning with Beastmaster. You can really just stay alone. There's not much kill threat from a Clockwork there, so you're more than happy. Just leave Fade for that solo EXP. Already a quarter away, or 3/4 away from just having that full level 6. So progression is going well for the side of Fulton. For Sand King Gómez, this draft naturally is a little bit slower, so you have to expect some losses in the lane, but
mid lane. Albino Zebra still somehow alive, finally going down, but Lund has given his life away again. And mind you, he did hit level 6 off that kill, but did not have the chance to zip away, apparently. Now Solji's going to go after 9 on the Rubik, but 9 doing a good job of juking through the tree line. It's going to force Solji underneath the T1, but no. Solji, he does have an arrow. As we are going to pause, so he has time to think about this. But if he just threw out a blind arrow into the tree line, he'd probably secure the kill, because he does have the... well, actually, I say that. He doesn't have enough mana for both Sacred Arrow and Starstorm. So he probably wants to land the Starstorm first, and then go for the Urn Charge instead to try and really secure the kill. But nevertheless, even maybe an arrow into the Urn Charge, it could prove to be enough.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close if you can land that arrow. Can be a little bit awkward, but it's kind of spacing between Solji and 9, especially if the vision game is up there. I'm keen to see just what Solji's final decision is, and he's not going to arrow. So he plays it a little bit safe. Nice juke coming out from 9. Overall, though, again, 4-1 start for the side of Felt. Things are looking good. Like, this team is looking sharp in this game. I think this is a big improvement over that Nouns game as well that they had last time around. So I think for them, it's still working out. Like, you're not completely shut down on Ducho. Right, he is still farming. It's not... It's a stable foundation because he's... Oh.
He's very deep here. He's actually still surviving. Kid's gonna jump in. A direct trade, support for supporters. Now Lund again in trouble. Does have enough mana to get to the low ground, so he will be fine. I mean, I said Albino Zebra was too far, but John, he's setting up kills for his mid. I don't think that's too bad at all.
No, you take that trade every single time. And again, this is space coming out for Sand King Gómez as well. Well, even though Felt is kind of setting up these kills, at the least for Sand King Gómez, again, Ducho is not being shut down. So your offlane Mars is, it's not lagging too far behind. Cool.
Leonidas, he waveformed forward. You saw Fade immediately go for the Roar, but Leonidas quick enough to press the Strength North, so they were not able to secure the kill. Thankfully for SKG, because that would have been a real disaster. And that should mean that Leonidas, he should be pretty safe for a while.
Yeah, should be left alone to just farm. It's a little bit rougher with not that much HP on hand, but at the least he's got a little bit more damage, a little bit more of that HP on the Falcon Blade. So they can try to accelerate off that launching point. Still, it's felt that's still in control. Kits has to step forward to grab the bounty, doesn't manage to connect on the Remnant, so not going to be able to catch out 9. I'm wondering if the space you're buying out for Ducho is worth it, though. Like, it does feel like the Mars is soaking up a lot of space just being bought, not moving lanes. But Mars' hero also doesn't need that much farm past what you initially get. Perhaps once this blink is up, you go for the aura buildup, and then you can start to hand more of that room away to your Storm, to your Morphling to really get that scaling going here.
Stacks being taken. Fade going to be spotted here by the rocket flare of Jubei. He does move in. Doesn't really get anything out of this rotation, but he will try to chase down Albino Zebra. Problem is now Fade wants to try and move onto him, but Fade's pretty much out of mana. But he does have Arcane Boots, so he'll get a little bit more. Maybe one more Wild Axis to be thrown out, but that's about it. I think Fade just pretty happy that he got the farm off that the stacks. Even if the XP was soaked by Jubei, he's still got the better end of that, of course.
Yeah, it's much bigger for them to get all of that on their end rather than just worrying about Jubei hanging around there. So you're pretty happy. Again, it's 5-2. You're pretty much free for Burna to just keep farming on the Magus down bot. There's still no threat from Dutra, despite having that arena. No one can really connect him just yet. It does feel like you want your level 6s on your supports first. Like, Hookshot is just so massive for Jubei that, you know, it doesn't feel like you can easily just connect with your Mars until your support clock is ready.
Oh, 8th Remnant, Lund. He's still perfectly fine. Like, he's full of mana here. They're not going to be able to lock him down unless you hit a really nice arrow from Solji. Felt 5-2. Very good position for them at the moment. It's all about just holding on to these kind of positions if you're Felt now. Because you've had a very good laning stage. Everything's going just fine. It's hit and mute. Narrowly going to avoid a spear attempt here from Ducho, but Ducho obviously still looking. Has the arena up. Does go for the God's Rebuke. Spear will land eventually, but doesn't bother with the arena. Meanwhile, top lane, Fade gonna pop a roar here onto the Morphling as Kits has joined in. The Strength Morph was out from Leonidas though, so he's gonna be just fine as Lund has rotated as well on the Storm. Moving on to Fade. Fade proving to be quite tanky with the Vanguard, but eventually will go down. Lund is quite low on mana, but the problem is Kits has no step charges. So he can't really follow up onto the Storm.
That's a big trade for Santi and Gómez to find. Offlane for support does cost you a Storm rotation, but the Storm needs that. It needs a little bit of the snowball start, so you don't mind too much. Still in control is Felt though, 6-3, 2k lead up their way. Despite again, maybe some awkward angles coming out. You are basically working the rest of the map well. Still no stoppage on Burna. You know, there's no reason for them to stick to school as much here on Felt, as they are the ones bringing SKG to school now for the time being, at least.
Yeah. 6-3. Yeah, SKG nowhere near out of this game yet, obviously. Just a 2k advantage here for the side of Felt, but Felt definitely proving to be quite good in this game one. You're going to hit that point where your kid's going to have the Echo Saber up and he's going to want to start moving much more frequently. He has been pretty frequent as it is, but the Echo Saber, that one item where you can really start to move as a unit. Nice scan here from SKG. Going to see exactly where Felt are through the Moonlight Shadow. D-Ward's still going to come out from Felt though, so they still get something out of this. As it seems like they will just kind of back off for now, allow SKG some space. Leonidas, by the way, John, on the Morphling has queued up the Ags already, so
Yes. That
makes sense.
That is what I want to see. Just turn into the Void Spirit or the Magnus. Probably the Magnus. And just steal 40% of his stats. That's probably the highest EHP reduction I've ever seen. It's like you lose armor and strength. You know, it's
Yeah,
like it's like an Undying with a scaling assault cuirass. That's kind of nuts.
It is a very, very nice kind of morph target for sure. And the mag skills aren't bad either. Like, having Skew is really nice, and having Empower is even nicer for the Morphling, who's already going to be hitting like an absolute truck. So it's definitely a very valuable Aghanim Scepter Morphling game to play here as Leonidas if you can find the morph on Hidden Immune. Even the Void Spirit's still fine, but I think it is much more preferred to just go after the mag. Speaking of Hidden Immune, he's currently top of the net worth board. He's having a great old time. But as I say that, he's going to show on a creep wave, as there is a smoke here from SKG. It is only the Mars and the Clockwork, though, so they are bringing more heroes in. Nine and Lund are coming, but Lund looks like he wants to go for the Power Rune instead. So I don't believe they're going to have a chance at really getting the Magnus. Maybe they could try for the mid lane if they get a good Power Rune. And it's going to be an illusion, so pretty useless.
Yeah, not the best in this game. Not too much to dispel off either for Lund, so it should be all right to at least just play this farm game, but doesn't line up for any aggression. Not that you're ready for aggression necessarily on SKG. Lund still waiting for his Witchblade next, already has the Falcon Blade, but you really need both of them to start popping off. And the lead just keeps growing for Felt. 4K up at 6-3. The pacing of this game, definitely a lot slower than what we've been used to seeing from NA, but again, this is also one of our more competitive matchups in terms of skill disparity.
Certainly so. Mid lane. Moonlight Shadow popped. Hidden Immune's going to kind of reveal the Moonlight Shadow was used, though. We'll see him in the mid lane. Maybe trying to bait for his team, but seems a little bit too obvious here from Phil. SKG not going to really bother with it. They're just going to keep pushing out the bottom wave instead. Jabay does actually go for a hookshot onto Albino Zebra. The Clockwork, generally speaking, would usually have a pretty good chance of killing off the Lich, but Ducho does have to get involved to secure the kill. So Jabay setting up a nice one, but here comes the cavalry. Kids immediately going to find a nice trade, and now Ducho also in trouble, probably just dead, as Fade does secure the kill. There's a bit of aggressive jump in from the clock, like mid though, Hidden Immune. He's actually killing off 9, but Lund has got him. Lund, no mana, but is still going to be able to walk away from Fate.
Yeah, just not enough punishment coming out there, and you're more than you're happy enough. At least you find that punishment that you wanted onto that mag. Drag a lot of attention mid, so you're buying space out for Leonidas now to work that top lane, get his own item build up. You do still have a lot of timings left on Felt. Again, this lineup does scale pretty well with Magnus. Arguably the same for Sand King Gómez. I think that's why we have just a slower time overall.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that hook shot. Tips out immediately here from Albino Zebra. Like, the thing is, like, Clock is in such a bad place right now. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you can hookshot a Lich and he just won't die with a level 1 Frost Shield. It's not even a max Frost Shield. Level 1. It's just, you can't do anything as a Clock right now.
Yeah, it just doesn't do, I don't know, enough damage, I suppose. It's kind of weird having some durability with the cogs. Kit's just finding more, taking out Ducho once more. I failed to realize there was already the drums up in Fade.
There is.
Got the music banging on. We need that band, Mike.
We do. Mid, Zip is there. Albino Zebra immediately bursted down here by Lund. So nice easy pick off for the Storm. It is a very quick drums though. I mean, you kind of already pointed this out, but could have some pretty big impact throughout this game. This drums slowly is making me a believer, Jonathan. This Leonidas. Lane. Have the wild axes thrown out here by Fade, but he's got plenty of help around him. So it seems like SKG are the ones that want to jump, and they will. Arena is down. It is by the tier 1 tower, but they are looking to burst the Beastmaster rather quickly, and they have. As Soldier even getting caught out now, and the Marana is going to drop. A nice arrow landing onto the Void Spirit. Kit's in trouble, but the spear is not going to land on anything, and now the RP. Hidden Immune. He found 2 targets. Nine and Lund both gone, as Leonidas desperately still trying to fight this one out. But I think he will need to back out of there. Though I say that Ducho does move back in with the spear. Hit immune though, able to skew around as Jubei trying to close the gap is unable to do so. But SKG successfully fighting back. They do eventually get the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they finally take an objective off the map. They show us what they can do with this blink reveal coming out from Ducho. He gets a fantastic initiation out. Unfortunate that the clump ups do benefit Felt. You've got the synergy with Chain Frost plus RP, which we saw a glimpse of in that engagement. So have to respect that spacing a little bit here from Sand King Gómez, but the side of Felt. Also need to be careful about bleeding out. You know, you've got the Harpoon out in Berna. You can try to make some solo plays now if you wish to attempt it. And he is going for the usual Satanic. So the disassembly, not quite the disassembly actually, but just eventually building onto that self-dispel. As they do start Roche with Fade. Should have output. Fade can just tank. Play with the drums. Not too much going on. You know, Mike, I had a wonderful idea for what happens when you roar with Ags. Can you imagine if Phil Collins in the air tonight would play when you roar? That's fun. Never
Finally, you
happens.
said something I enjoy, Jonathan. This is a very, very interesting Twin Gates movement here from SKG. A nice arena. They do catch Soldier, but the Roar's out. Lund's gone. Oh, this is not good. This is not a good fight anymore for SKG. Nine's also down. Oh, you go through the Twin Gates like that while Roshan's happening. It's a scary, scary thing to do when you're completely blind.
Just no vision. Why did they scan the Roche now as well? That's interesting. to say the least.
Albino literally waiting for Jubei. Jubei has to cancel.
That was
a very desperate Roshan attempt from SKG.
Yeah, that's really forced. Like, I get you've got your team fight spells, but you're just not ready for these fights. Just not in tip-top shape. I mean, you do have the Witchblade Falcon Blade up on Lund. Maybe that's where you feel confident that your Mars is just not durable enough to make these plays. You're writing checks you can't cash right now on the side of SKG. At the least, you've got the full Ags up on Leonidas. So now we can see the universal type 40% stat steal across the board. I don't know if it's enough to make a difference, though. It doesn't feel like Leonidas is, big enough to maximize that. But to be fair, it is 40% of every stat. Might just be enough if you find a universal.
It's a lot, but they're just not... The way they're forcing these fights just aren't very, very confident-inducing, Like, it's not good. Like, they need to play a bit more carefully, I think, here, SKG. They felt they're just playing much more confidently, understanding their power spikes. We'll see if it makes a difference. I hope the Ags does for Leonidas' sake. It's just these last couple team fights that we've seen where they throw too many bodies at Phil. You may be the highest net worth in the Morphling, but the rest of your team is struggling quite a lot now when it comes to the net worth department.
They've had to sacrifice just to enable this growth out on the Unitas. Granted, we've seen SKG do this a lot, even in their Div 2 games. They've had games where it's just Leonidas against the world. So we'll see if that's something that happens here. Moonlight out, though.
Here we go. They're underneath Hawk Vision right now. Jubei gonna see the Void Spirit. Kids forced to jump in on the one hero they probably aren't interested in, and Jubei, nice hook shot away. Good cogs, good hook shot. Gets his way out of there. They are still going to lose the tier 2 mid tower. There's not really too much they can do about it. Or at least pop a glyph, maybe get a deny off on it, but it seems like Feld are going to stick around and just secure the gold. That they will. I believe they also found both Wisdom runes out of that, so Feld's still doing a brilliant job of just taking control of the full map. SKG, maybe it's time to smoke up with your Morphling, but it seems like Leonidas may have made the call that he wants a Satanic first on the Morph before they get going.
Yeah, it's an understandable call. Just wanting some sustain up front. A bit of a reset in the middle of these fights. So I don't mind that too much. It's just that you're losing so much map space. All your outer towers are going to be gone. Felt seeing an opening, just capitalize on it. They will find Albino Zebra in exchange, but do you really care? You've taken all the tier 2s. Like, that's more than worthwhile for a Lich's debt.
It certainly is. 16 to 10 now. 5k net worth still standing. It's still anyone's game, right? Like, Felt is certainly in the lead, but it's not that big of a lead by any stretch. One good team fight, SKG, they'll completely take over this game. Felt, all they need to do is really just not mess up. Which is easier said than done, naturally. They are certainly looking like the stronger team as a whole, as SKG is still not looking to group up and force a fight. They are really just going to wait for the Satanic build up on Leonidas. I do appreciate that Hidamune is going for a Lincoln Sphere on the map, just going for a bit of a defensive build, which it makes enough sense against the draft of SKG. Might even be able to just waste the morph mid-team fight, which would be amazing. There's a nice skewer back here from Hidamune, going to catch himself a Rubik. 9 going to go down. With the new blink up on Hidamune, now you have something else to worry about.
So many angles for them to take here on the side of Felt. Moonlight as well. SKG, you're in a position to try something here, but into the Aegis. Still half a minute left here for kids. More than enough time.
Go. Jump in. What a bait toss. It'll bring the Lincolns on Leonidas as... Oh, kids, he found Jabay. Dissimulate, he just goes right into him, completely blind. And now they found Lund. RP is there, but it's not going to be quite good enough, I don't think. Still, Lund is already gone, so it's a decent team fight for Felt. But Leonidas, he will take down the Magnus. He's proving to be the big issue now. Even if they find the bottom racks, can they deal with the Morphling? Well, Leonidas is actually going down due to the Spirit Vessel. And in fact, the answer is yes, they can. They take him out. That's a huge deal now for Felt, as they can turn right back around and keep going to finish off that bottom racks that they already have. The range racks is also gone. Jabay, he will drop. They won't go for a secondary racks, I don't think, but it's a bit of a demoralizing fight for SKG. You lost your racks, but more importantly, you saw your Morphling die like that, and that's not going to make you very happy.
No, certainly not. Feels like you really need some sort of spell immunity coming out here on Leonidas. I get the dispel off for the Satanic. Again, I've been talking about that for a while, but I think the BKB might just be the better call. Just because the Lich is doing a lot, the Void Spirit's doing a lot. It's not just these BKB piercing spells that are causing issues, but everyone else is on top. Like, you need something here on the side of SKG. Full Lincoln's up as well now, up for Kits. But he's feeling good. He's been having a great game, 6-0-10 on the Void Spirit so far. And with a 10k lead now at 26 minutes in, that is not insignificant. You are matching again on Leonidas, but Ducho, Lund, they don't have much to play with in comparison to all these other cores.
That they do not. That they certainly do not. Felt they are not backing off quite yet. I mean, they're still posturing around the mid lane. Kid's looking to see if he can find a nice jump here. Let's see Ducho. Aether Remnant will land, but they won't have the follow-up arrow to connect. And even then, he was by the tier 3 tower. Probably not very advised to make such an aggressive jump in if you are Kids. But he's just kind of reminding them not to leave the base, I suppose. It's Jabay. Yeah, he will at least maybe get out. No, he won't. Now Hidamune finds another. 9's gone. That feels like a bit of a communication issue between the players, because it didn't seem like anyone else in SKG was ready for that move.
Yeah, that didn't look like it was doing much. I mean, the ward was going to go anywhere. Now high ground again. Another tier 3 down, another racks under pressure. And SKG, they've got Arena. They've got the Morph ready. They can try something, but... Ooh.
Kids, he's doing so much damage, forcing out the Arena now as Lund also zips in, but the RP's perfect. Hidamune, he times it perfectly. Leonidas, he's going to try with a skewer back into the tier 4 towers, but Hirmu's going to go for the man fight. Still, they've got him pretty low. They've got him. The Magnus is down. Leonidas will make a bit of a comeback, this team fight, as now they're looking to clean up. They'll try on to Fade. Fade's got the Ags up though. Maybe he can fight back. In fact, Kits, he's still manning up against Leonidas, but now he's dropping low. The Void Spirit, he is going to go down. Fade still trying to go after Leonidas, is not going to be able to get it done. So one good skill play from Leonidas allows them to win that team fight and protect the mid-racks. Felt the ones to get wiped here, basically. The only survivor being Solji. They are pinging out the Roshan pit. It is 15 seconds away. So SKG might have some perfect timing for Roshan.
It's some great timing coming out from them to take that fight, to recognize this opening. It does cost them a lot of buybacks, which is my one concern. That can catch them off guard. They absolutely need this next Aegis to have some security for the next few minutes here. On the side of Felt, they have pretty short respawn, so I don't think it'll take them too long to actually get into that fight. Roshan taking for SKG. It's quick enough with a Morphling, so perhaps that's not even concern. But we'll see. They're starting to clump around. Up top, Roche number 2 with the cheese. And that does give them a safety net, right? Like, perhaps Aegis here for your Morph, cheese for your Storm, or vice versa. And suddenly there's a lot more HP Felt will need to dig through to punish. Still, they smoke up here.
Roshan's pretty low, though. They're not going to make it in time to contest this, I don't believe, as they are still trying to get there, but it's too late. Still Felt. They might force a surprise team fight. A little bit hard, considering you are lacking some vision now as SKG, and, excuse me, rather as Felt. Kits, though, is going to provide that information now as he makes the jump in onto the supports in the back, finding both of them. Jabay and Nine both going down. Now Ducho, he's been caught out as well. The Mars trying to run out of the arena, but he's gone. So you get the Aegis, you get the cheese, but both the cores that picked up those items, they're just out of the fight. All the other 3 will just die.
It's a big loss for Sand King Gómez. I think the net benefit still maybe outweighs the short-term loss, but I don't know if you have enough in the tank right now to really maximize 2 lives in the Storm. He is still farming off, trying to clear out.
You're going to be wary about that RP. Lund's been caught by it a few times. Nice skill back on Fade, but the roar is immediate. He didn't strength morph. Or did he?
Oh, no.
Maybe he did,
No
but it didn't
buyback.
really seem to matter. And he has no buyback. Wasn't able to cheese because the RP lasted too long. Oh boy.
Megas?
Yeah. Felt, props to them, John. This has been a very clean game from Team Felt. They will go through the backdoor protection. Mega creeps are incoming. SKG, they are known to be a team that does not call GG until the Ancient is basically already dead. So I fully expect them to try one more time. But with 39 seconds on the respawn board here for the Morphling, it's pretty rough to see a good defense to come out. Zip in, Lund, he's going to try, but the gaze was immediate from Albino Zebra. Hit immune, just hitting away. Not really afraid of anything right now as the Magnus. Stucho, he will move in as well, but they've lost Lund. That's the Aegis gone. That's the first life at least. But they are buying a little bit of time here for Leonidas as there's 15 seconds left for the Morphling. They'll lose 9. They might find Albino, but no, they catch Lund out again. This sinister gaze proving to be a real problem for the Storm this game. As now they have no Lund, no buyback on 9 either. Smoke out. Leonidas is going to try one last time. Gaze is immediate. He's just gone. GG. It's just a pretty dominant game here from Felt. All the eggs were put in the Morphling Aghanim Scepter basket, and well, sadly Leonidas